What if? You woke up tomorrow and you felt different. What if? You began to question what others haven't noticed. What if? I began to have experiences I could not explain at a very young age. Our worldview is filled with intrigue, wonder, adventure, and of course, mysteries. However, there are some situations that we cannot fully explain, and it's time we open up this dialogue and talk about our experiences. I am your host, Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. Welcome to Haunted Mysteries. Welcome to Haunted Mysteries Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. This show will air every other week on the Get Haunted Podcast Network. So sit back and relax, and if you miss it, go to the Get Haunted Podcast Network Facebook page or to my YouTube channel under Haunted Mysteries Podcast. Spend an hour every other week with us, delving into what most of us are chasing after, answers to unexplained happenings. This show brings you a bit of chatter, topics, theories, guest interviews, and more. May you be a believer in cryptids, apparitions, UFOs, consciousness abilities, or anything else. Know that there is another person out there who has experienced something similar or a bit stranger. It's not always in our imagination. This episode is pre-recorded. Good evening, everyone, and thanks again for joining me for yet another episode of Haunted Mysteries Podcast. My name is Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. I am the host and the producer of this show. Today, we're going to meet with a portion of the Backwoods, Kentucky ghost hunters, and they are quite an investigative team. Yep, from Kentucky, the Backwoods of Kentucky, to be exact. And we had quite a discussion, not only about paranormal, but also about Bigfoot and UFO experiences. And they had them all. So we're going to learn just a little bit more about not only their experiences, but begin to question what is really going on out there. But before we get into that interview, why don't we just take a moment here and learn just a little bit more about my special 3 guests this evening from the Backwoods, Kentucky Ghost Hunters Investigating Team. This team, in and of itself, has done perhaps more than 500 different cases, not only in the backwoods, but in people's homes and around the area, and also around different states within the United States. Tonight we're going to meet and explore with them some of the things that many of us may have in common, and that is perhaps some of us have gone to auctions. And how many of those objects at the auctions would you say are potentially haunted? We start with that, and then we move that into Bigfoot and their momentary visitation by something that no, they could not see, but yet felt. And what did they see in conjunction with Bigfoot? Yep, you got it, a UFO craft hovering above them. We have many questions here, and so sit back and enjoy yourself as we go head on head with just a few of, but pretty much the organizers of the Backwoods, Kentucky Ghost Hunting Group. Stay tuned. Well, good evening, Backwoods, Kentucky Ghost Hunters. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having us.
Well, a little bit of delayed reaction there, but you know what? We're off to a good start anyway. Well, as you are all noticing tonight, I have a group and a team with me, which is not very common when I do my shows, but I'm very glad to have them. We met at a conference this past year, and I'm thrilled that they're with us. So right now, I'm going to have you do introductions. So why don't we start with introductions, and who wants to be the first to tell us your name?
I'm Timmy Kennison.
Okay.
My name is Angel Kennison.
And I'm Dwayne Hitton.
All right, and welcome all of you. So, all right.
Thank you.
So here we go. I usually do a foundation question, and I would like you to start with the earliest age, each of you, that you can remember in not necessarily dabbling with the paranormal or maybe having a paranormal incident, and then we're going to take it from there. So whoever wants to start, we're going to go round robin, and then we'll take it from there.
Mine was 10 years ago, so about 48.
Okay. And what happened to me?
We was at the table, and Grace took a picture when I was at the table, and in the background it showed me and 4 of the dogs that we had that passed away. And you could see them, and you could see me sitting right there.
Of course, he wasn't dead, so it kind of was startling. But
yeah, that was about the first thing, probably.
So that was just 10 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
that was about 2009.
Okay. So when you were younger than that, did you ever have a fascination at all with the paranormal or anything cryptid? And did you grow up in Kentucky from when you were young? Okay. So, everyone thinks about Kentucky as being like, very much like your name, very backwoods. And we think of that with lots of trees and lots of everything going on in those backwoods, and so give us a little bit of an idea what it was like, Timmy, growing up in the backwoods of Kentucky in regards to the paranormal. Was there any discussion of that at all with that?
When I used to deer hunt when I was probably 16 years old, when I was driving, I deer hunted out on 1414, and I hunted by an old graveyard. There were just sandstone headstones, and that was it. There was about 12 of them. And I was set up in a tree stand about 10 yards from them. And I'm not just saying because I could hear walking and stuff, but it was kind of in the dark in the mornings, it was a little different. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Did you ever have did you ever see anything, or was it all pretty audio, hearing?
It was all just hearing, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And did you ever, so when a hunter goes out and they go out early morning or to do this, do you think that the silence of the surroundings, because it can be pretty quiet amongst a lot of trees, but was something a little bit different because, so you encountered these, or you knew about these 12.
I already knew about them because when I went there was a little pond And then there was like I said, 10, 12 grays. And like I said, they were just sandstones sticking up in the thing. So then daylight came, we would mess around up there and just see what, we could see something written on them or something like that. But you knew they was always there because it always had that kind of feeling. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, no, I know. I've been there, done that. Interesting though. Okay, so then years later, then you had another experience, which was the one that you just mentioned.
Yes.
And that's interesting. So, I wonder the lag time between that time and then the time you had your next experience. Did you just lose interest, or was it something that you really never thought much about, or something that just was never really discussed?
I got really involved in it when me and Grace got together.
Okay.
I drugged him and made him do it at first.
All right.
One of my best experiences is my first picture of the miner at the Lancaster Cemetery. It's haunted by a miner, and we went out there for the first time, and Grace took a picture of me when we were just standing there, and I got a picture of the miner behind me.
Interesting. Translucent?
Yes, you can see him. He's red. He has a hat on. He got a red shirt on and everything.
Interesting. And was there any physical touching at all?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, just
Not that night, I don't guess.
That's interesting, though. Not everyone can get a capture, That's interesting.
Well, Grace took the picture of me, and I was holding a camera in my hand. I guess I was talking to somebody because my face is turned, and the miner was behind us.
Yeah. That we'll go back to that one maybe a little bit later in the show. Interesting. I'm going to put that one on the shelf for the moment here. Angel, you're next. What age were you when all of this kind of intrigued you?
Well, when I was little, my mom and my cousins used to sit around and talk about it because they live in haunted houses, and my granny did. So I guess when I was little, but really when about 2009 is when I actually started going out and doing things on my own with it.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of things did they talk about? So you sat around the table maybe, or in the living room?
Well, I sit around and listen to them because, of course, I was young. But my granny's house was haunted. The water would turn on by itself. You would hear people walking. The doors would open. I mean, just crazy stuff would happen there. And then at my aunt's house, I guess she was my aunt, my mom's cousin, her house was haunted. You would hear a car go around. You would hear people walking. They had what do they call it? Like 3D, three-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's like you would be in a room, but you wouldn't know somebody was in the room, and you would walk around, and you wouldn't know they were even sitting in the dining room, but they'd be sitting there, but they would never see you, and you wouldn't see them.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I had a lot of stuff like that growing up.
Did you grow up in Kentucky in the backwoods?
No, I grew up in town, but my granny lived on the river, and then my mom's cousin, lived in the country.
Interesting.
But I think the ghosts followed them.
Yeah.
And so my mom, when I was a baby, the house that we lived in was haunted. And so when my mom moved, well, actually, I wasn't born yet, but when my mom moved from the house she was pregnant with me in to the house on Washington Avenue, my mom told the lady, she said, "Come on, hop on the dresser and go with us." So my mom took her with us when we moved.
Interesting.
And the house was haunted. Yeah. So I don't know if she went with us to our house I live now. I don't know.
So, Timmy and Angel, did you find that the attitudes of the people that you dealt with, like Angel, you had family. Timmy, I'm not sure if you ever shared this with just friends and or family, but what were the reactions regarding hearing some of this stuff from you guys?
Well, at first I think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Until they realize that we have a haunted location here.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell people come to the auction, they come here and they have to go through the house, go to the restroom here. So at first they wouldn't say nothing to us. Mm-hmm. They would just say, we have cameras so we could see them, and they would jump and stuff like that. Now, man, when I went through, I heard somebody say my name. Mm-hmm. No, you're not crazy. Now it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Well, my family didn't think I was crazy because they all experienced the same stuff. So,
Right. And you grew up, you weren't even born yet and you were experiencing.
No, but yeah.
That's kind of interesting. And to be that honest with your child, like it's just like, I'm not going to say like everyday life, but you're so used to this stuff going on that after a while you kind of become a little
Immune to it.
yes, to it. And to the point where it's kind of like, now my family, oh, heck no. I mean, it's your imagination. It was something else, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't grow up with any discussion about this. And even if there was, it got squashed immediately. So interesting. Dwayne, you're up. How old were you when things started to kind of turn about and come about in your life?
Well, my first experience, I guess, was back in '73, which I didn't really know it at the time. I was only 10, but I lived in Cloverport, Kentucky. It's a real little town, and it's definitely backwoods. But I was out back feeding the dogs and stuff, and my papa came to me, telling me he was okay. And at the time, my mama and papa lived in Florida, which at 10, I didn't understand the distance. And he looked like he was standing there. I mean, you couldn't see through him and stuff. And I didn't find that odd. And then right after that, my brother comes outside and he tells me Mom wanted to see us inside. So, and I told him, I said, I just saw Papa. And he just kind of looked at me strange. But we went inside and stuff, and Mom set us all down because she was real close to Papa, and she was going to have a hard time telling us about it. So she wanted to tell all of us kids at the same time that Papa had passed away. And actually, at first I sat there and said, I just saw him. But then I realized everybody was crying, so then I started crying because now I understood he had passed away. But I was real close to Papa too, so I think he was wanting me to know he was okay. But Mom believed me. Everyone else thought I was nuts, but my mom, she always knew. She knew when he was around. He'd give her little signs, so. But and then I guess later teenage years, I started getting into going to old abandoned buildings or nighttime in cemeteries, kind of like the teenage things, I believe, but I also want to make sure that it's a haunting. So I don't really look at orbs and mist and stuff like that because that can be bugs or dust. I try to ration it out first before I say that's a haunting. So, but yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that was my first one.
So was that your grandfather? I just want to be clear.
Yeah, my mom's dad.
Yes. How long did he show himself? Do you, from a real standpoint, if you were to go back and think about how long you interacted with him at the point that he showed himself to you, how long do you think that? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, less than that?
Whenever I felt he was there or knew that he was there, yeah, they weren't very long. They 5 minutes or less, maybe. But it was just kind of, even though I could turn and look and he's not there, I could feel that he was there. And it'd be little things like, God, he used to love smoking those smelly Cuban cigars, and you'd get a whiff of those, or something like that, and you just knew he was there.
Yeah.
Because actually, my mama, his wife, lived 25 years after he had passed away. And the last time I got to see her at the nursing home, I knew he was there. I could smell that cigar, and I just felt, he was letting me know she's not taking one step into the light without him being there. So I had comfort knowing he was there.
Did she ever talk about ever having an encounter with him? Did you see her from the point at all, from the point that he passed to the point that she was in the nursing home? Did you have any years in between, or even then, that she may have said, yeah, I've felt him, I've seen him, I know he's...
Oh, yes. Mama was, she'd walk around and one of us kids might do something silly, and she'd like, Charles, can you get a hold of those kids? She talked like he was there, and we never saw her as being crazy. She just always knew he was there. because she never remarried, nothing like that, and that was her man. That was her one and only sweetheart, and it's just, as far as she was concerned, he was always there.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's been a couple cases of situations that I have been either part of or I've known of, where something had shown themselves and talked like just a regular individual for a while, and then suddenly disappears. There's a guy that I interviewed on the show quite a while ago, and we're still in touch to some degree. He actually he was in Utah at some kind of a mining location where I think that it was silver or something like that in the area, but he was very interested in something to do with that area, and nobody else cared except this one elderly man that came up to him and started having a conversation about the place. And he was like, just wow, someone is actually interested in talking about this place. Well, push comes to shove, the older man left. He wanted to go and get his address from someone in the office. He went into the office and he said, I was just talking to so-and-so out there, and I really want to keep in touch with him. Could I get his address or his phone number from you? And they said, that's impossible because he's been dead for 9 years. So he had carried on a conversation with this guy. He claims, and he will not back down, it was 20 to 30 minutes. And that is the longest amount of time that I have heard that something maintained a physical appearance that appeared so real. But then again, he was around some of these elements too that might have also electrified him in a way that kept his energy strong. So there's more to this than just someone being able to light themselves up. Sometimes they have to have the right elements. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So all of you have experiences. Now, of course, people are wondering, how did you all come together? And so who wants to take that story from there? Jump on in.
All right. So me and Grace been married for 31 years. That's how we got together. And Dwayne, I run an auction house. Dwayne came into the auction one day. I came home, told Grace, I said, you're going to meet this damn guy that came in there tonight. I said, he wears a hat, he's got contacts on. I said, this guy is right up your alley. You and him will be best friends.
And he was right.
And she looked him up on Facebook now. He's got this purple shirt on with a mist right there, with a top hat on. She said, I do like him. We will be best friends. So there it is. That's how we all got together.
And I put up with Timmy because of my best friend.
Yeah, that's right.
And just like that,
he comes with baggage.
yeah. And now you're a family and you can't get rid of each other. Well, two of you are married, so
that's right.
Until you want to get rid of each other. But you mentioned something that's very interesting, and I think we're going to delve into it. Auction. So do all three of you together put on an auction? Are you part of a business like that? Tell us about that. You are the business. Okay. Tell us.
I run the auction house. I'm the auctioneer, and I do all the work in the auction part with me and Grace. We do everything, and Dwayne comes and he volunteers his time. I get to make fun of him, and he holds stuff up.
And then we have two other members in our ghost group, which aren't here tonight. They also come and help every week.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a family affair.
And then we have a niece, and she comes and she's our clerk.
Yeah, she clerks the tickets for me. It's like a family. That's what it's like. Mm-hmm. But we do it every Saturday, 4:00, and I've been doing it for 22 years.
Yeah, I've had some of the people tell me they actually come for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what?
Hey, it's not like a Paracon. You have to entertain them.
You have to, especially when you're holding up people's stuff, right? I mean, can you imagine this lovely, lovely thing, whatever it is, dated back to whatever it was. I just know it's going to find the right home right here. That's right. I have also gone to auctions. I find them very interesting and fascinating. I like the auctions that have more of an, I hate to say it, an entertainment feel to them than just
Yeah.
a straight up auction, But when you first started, how long have you been doing these for?
22 years.
22.
Might be 23 now.
Wow. It's a
A
long
long
time.
time.
Yeah.
And so do people, and let me make sure that if anyone wants to come there that's in the States, what city
Right.
do you hold them in?
We're in Owensboro, Kentucky at 309 Hill Avenue.
Okay.
On Thursday night, like tonight, I've already posted pictures under the Auction House Facebook page of what I had this week. So that people look at them. And if I don't post them by 7:30, I start getting phone calls. Timmy, are you going to post the pictures tonight? Timmy, you going to post the pictures tonight? So I always try to get the pictures posted. Sometimes I forget, and they call and remind me. So then that's when I do it.
Okay. So now people, do you do like the auctions that I've attended? And there used to be Amish auctions. So it was
Yeah.
very different. Back in India, I would lived in Indiana for 22 years. There was one that was always going on every week. That was probably about 25 miles away. I used to be in a craft store with this lady. She passed a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I just visited her when we went down to the conference, passed through, Indiana where I used to live. And then she and I would go and we would buy things for the store. And I often kidded
Right.
her about wondering if things we were bringing into her store, because she had this craft store, if they were possibly haunted. So what's your take on that? Because they had a lot of different people, not just a single family, but do you do the single family or do you do multiple families?
I have consignments, so people bring me consignments. Honestly, the majority, I don't want to say majority.
No, half of it's like people that's like estate sales,
Yeah.
like people's
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah.
But then we also have people that come in every week and just bring. We
Right.
have like some of the same customers every week will bring the same stuff, and then we go pick up stuff that people normally passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then do you ever would you consider yourselves to be relatively sensitive to energy?
Grace
Yeah.
definitely is.
Dwayne?
Grace can tell me.
Yeah, I'm not like her, but I am somewhat. Yeah.
So you're the one who holds the stuff up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I actually several years ago at the auction, there was a mirror that had like cast iron coat hooks on them,
yeah.
and they look like insects.
Oh,
And yeah, I had a feeling about that mirror, and I took it home. It had something attached to it.
interesting.
Because the house I lived in, I've lived in for years. Yeah, the place I lived in for years wasn't haunted, but it is now.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it had to do with that mirror.
So that mirror that you're talking
I
about,
collect haunted items.
one more time, Angel.
I said I collect haunted items.
You do? We'll get that. We'll get there in a
Yeah, so
second.
I have a bunch of haunted stuff.
Yeah.
Hold your thought just for a second.
Okay.
Dwayne, I want to talk a little bit about that mirror.
Yeah.
Then we'll get back to you, Angel. Hang on. Okay, so I have had a very dislike for mirrors ever since I went to Europe and had one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, which was, those floor length Victorian type mirrors where ladies will, in their wedding gowns, they'll kind of try to
Yeah.
floor length ones. Well, they were not kidding. That building I was in, I went to get a chapter in my book. Believe me, I don't know if you read that chapter yet, Angel. She purchased a couple of my books from the conference last year. I know it's in one of those books that you have, but
I haven't seen that part yet.
yeah, when you get there, this whole story is going to sound awfully familiar. But that mirror, people don't realize that stuff, whatever it is, energies love to hide in these mirrors, especially if they're lined with certain types of metals or whatever. And so the one that you felt like there was something to it, was it more of a negative type of presence or was it
No.
something else?
No, it's no negative. It's just a lot of times, especially when I'm in the kitchen, for some reason, it seems like it's there with me. It's not really done anything bad since at the beginning, there was a glass that shattered in my cabinet, and it was in the middle of all the other glasses, but only that one shattered.
Interesting.
But other than that, it's like you hear footsteps, doors, and I live by myself. So, I mean, I don't even have pets. There's nothing in that house that should be making noises and stuff. And it's funny, especially when it's the walking. I can reach for, like, if I'm in the bedroom, I reach for my doorknob, it'll stop every time before I actually even touch the knob.
Interesting.
But I can sit there and listen to it for 5 minutes, and it sounds like somebody walking around. But the second I go for that doorknob, it stops.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's nothing mischievous, nothing bad. So I'm okay with it. I've never tried to get rid of the spirit or nothing like that. If they're okay being there, I'm okay with it.
So when you hold up these objects, though, do you ever get creeped out? I mean, that one, yes, probably a little bit, but any other objects? Because there's an awful lot of stuff from these estate sales, you name it. It could be just about anything. Anything really out of an ordinary or a vision or a sensation? Because you're holding up a lot of this stuff.
Yes. I mean, most of the time, no. I mean, there's been a couple times I've like walking around looking at the stuff, and you get an odd feeling about something, but you're not really sure. And then 10 minutes later, I can look at it and I don't get a feeling at all. So I don't really know, if there's something going on with that or not. But
how many dolls do you guys actually auction off at these things? Because they're the number one thing.
There's room for you.
I buy dolls.
You buy them? I'll get to you. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the back row in a moment, Angel. Hang on. All right. So, Timmy, let's go over to you a second. So, so you get a lot. Dolls are known to be, and we know why, because they're so embraced, and there's so much energy, and there's so much turmoil, and there's so much everything that just gets put on that doll, but how do you sell a lot of these dolls? Do you have people actually wanting to have what could possibly be a haunted doll? What goes on?
You'd be surprised. Be surprised what people will buy. I sell dolls are haunted, or they seem to have more attachment to them. I'll tell you the other thing I sell a lot of is canes.
Canes? Oh,
that's the last thing they depended on.
I got a lot of them.
A lot of canes, yeah. Well, they can be, those things can be very artistically beautiful. I bought one once. In fact, I can't remember. I think I sold it. But the thing is, it was very well done. I mean, it was just, those things, they're a work of art in and of themselves.
Yeah.
So, canes, that's interesting. Okay. How about...
I have about 45, 50 of them.
Oh, my God.
That's the last thing people depended on.
Yeah. Yeah. With their energy.
I got more than that.
Grace has about 80. I get a cane everywhere we go.
Everywhere. So do you sell, because I know in Indiana at this Amish auction place, they couldn't get rid of these dressers if their life depended on it. I'm talking about the hutches that people put in their dining rooms. They used to be so expensive. $1,200, $1,500, $2,500 for the that. They here, or at least in where I was at, they couldn't get rid of them for $50. I mean, it was just.
Nope.
So do you have the same experience?
Not really. I did, but what I tell them when I sell them one, take the top and throw it away, and take the bottom, use it for a TV stand.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because
you have to multi-purpose.
Yeah, no, good. No, I'm glad you're doing that, because they couldn't sell these things worth anything. So, dressers.
Most people don't have that fine china and stuff anymore, and that's what they were used for. People don't collect stuff like that now.
Nope. In fact, depression glass. Do you guys sell a lot of depression glass?
A lot. Every week.
Do people want that depression glass?
Believe it or not, it's coming back.
It's coming back. Because you know how it's...
Everything is in a big circle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every 10 years, we cycle around to,
Yes,
yep,
absolutely.
coming right back to old styles or this or that or what.
Yeah.
Elephant pants. Remember elephant pants? Good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's coming back if it's already not already here. It's just like people are walking around in a bunch of elephant
Yeah.
pants. It's interesting, but you're right. Things do cycle back around. The depression glass went back when I was, doing these auctions or
Yes.
attending them. Oh my God, you couldn't even sell a whole table of it. No one wanted
No.
it. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
right now, what sells good is stuff from the '70s. That kind of style,
Yeah.
like rain lamps and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, people want that '70s style look.
Yeah, it's interesting, and then of course I couldn't wait for some of that to go out of dated so we could get to something else. But again, people back then they never really saw a lot of this stuff, so it looks cool to them. It's a
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a fashion statement. All right, Angel, I'm coming back to you in the
Oh,
back.
I'm just
Oh.
waiting. No rush.
Okay, I see you back there. All right, now my question to you is: so you collect a lot of haunted items. Do you go through the stuff before the auctions begin to get a feel for what seems to speak to you?
Yeah, I do that, but I also have people that'll call me and ask me if I can pick something up, and then of course I go get it.
All right. So you got a house full of haunted items, huh? Am I correct?
I have a bunch at my house, and then I have also a bunch up here.
Okay.
I have a good sized collection of Ouija boards people's given me.
Oh, yeah. You know what? When you go, we were talking earlier about, and Angel, I'll get back to you a second. Dwayne, when we were talking earlier before the show, the one conference that you guys are going to be at, there was a huge display. I'm going to tell you my story quick, and then Angel, I'll be back talking to you in a second.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
All right, so this one conference that you're going to, I'm going to tell you what happened because it fits perfect with your Ouija boards here. So there was a couple that, they actually spoke to about the Ouija boards. They collected them, and they felt like they had treated them and taken care of really well. Then so they had them displayed, all right, and they really had a big display of them. And I was over there just kind of meandering when I was at this conference, and in the corner where the guy who had the booth was talking to another person about his Ouija boards. And so he's saying to the guy, I'm telling you, this is what he's saying, I'm telling you, these Ouija boards are not haunted. They are not. And just as he was emphasizing that, the table next to us collapsed. Flump. Just like literally on cue. So then we turned and we all
Well,
looked
maybe
back.
one of the boards.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. The story gets better. So now we're all looking at this. The thing just collapses. No one was near it. No one touched it. No one kicked the leg. No one did anything. Maybe it was its time to fall. I don't think so. That was perfect cue. But then we all just kind of ignored that. And I was just kind of sitting there listening to him. And he goes, yep. He says, every one of these Ouija boards on the wall? Nope. I personally can tell you that there's nothing to them at all. Absolutely nothing. And as he was saying that, the one Ouija board that he had, those kind of those frame trays, they're like this and they have a little bit of a lip to them so that way you can hold something up. Okay. So he's got these Ouija boards that are all positioned like this. Yep, there's no way they're going to fall over. There's no way they're going to tumble down. As God is my witness, and I saw it with my own eyes, this one Ouija board. Nope, I personally took care of all these Ouija boards. And as he said that, after, of course, the table collapsed, it literally jumped up and jumped out, and it flung itself probably about 4 feet away. Jumped, it flung, boom, crash on and everyone went like that, And I just said, well, I think my time is up here. So I turned around and I just walked way back to the other room. Before I get back to you, Angel, in a moment, Dwayne, you got a collection of Ouija boards. What are your thoughts on the Ouija boards?
Oh, yes. it's like anything else. It's a tool. I don't really think so much the board itself would be haunted. It's you're inviting them, so you're actually the tool. You're just using the board to communicate. Me, I mean, I love Ouija boards, especially the older ones and stuff like that. I usually have anything Ouija on me, like right here on my hat.
Mhm.
I've got one on my wallet.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can see that on the wallet, but something is always on me that represents the Ouija boards.
Interesting.
I love them. I love the artwork on them.
Mhm.
So I just think it's just another tool. It's no more than a voice box or EMF meters, or it's a tool. I mean, if it's just sitting there in the box, it's not doing anything.
Do you think that it's the energy from people's hands, especially those wooden board ones, the wooden ones, when they put their hands on this all the time? Do you think the energy or the oils or whatever from the hands are putting something into that board like they do haunted dressers? Dressers, by the way, are one of the second or third most haunted items, because people are constantly opening up the drawers and with their hands, and they're full of emotion at the time, or not emotion or whatever. Do you think that that's where it's all coming from? They're putting their energies onto these boards.
Yes, I do. And I think when a board starts out, they're not haunted, but using it, a spirit can attach itself to it, and the board becomes haunted. Mm-hmm. They're using it to clean because they don't want to go back or something. Mm-hmm. And since they came through the board, they stay with the board. Mm-hmm. But like if you first buy a board, no, it's just a tool to use. Mm-hmm. You know, there's nothing. But I think you're using that as a doorway, but you're the actual door.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Angel, coming back to you. All right. So I want to know what you think is the most haunted item that you have, or items that you have, and what are they doing? What kinds of things are they doing to let you know that, you're like, oh, I'm onto you, or something's going on? Give us some stories here.
Well, I have one that's a cane that actually lifts up and falls. We've got it on camera. So that's one thing. And then I have a doll that's actually turned his head and looked at me.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I moved her from the bedroom to the living room. And what else do I have that's really...
Candle.
Oh, yeah, I have a candle that comes on. Yeah, and it all started about, I guess, after my aunt passed away. And it'll just mysteriously come on. It might not come on for months. And it's had the same batteries in it for, probably 15 years. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while at night, it'll just come on for a little while. And then sometimes we'll walk by and we'll say, about the candle coming on, and it'll actually come on. So, yeah, I didn't think about the candle, the cane, and that doll.
And that bottle we got from that lady.
Yeah, and then I got a bottle that's supposed to have some attachments, but I haven't had anything happen with the bottle, so...
Interesting. Anything negative, or is it all just kind of here we are type of energy?
Yeah, pretty much here we are. My mom was there, back in, probably about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she thought Jimmy was in there cooking Thanksgiving dinner because the pots and pans was all rattling around and everything. And so about that morning, she said, well, it was like, 7? And she was like, well, he went in there about 4 this morning. I'm like, no, he didn't. She said, well, he was in there cooking a big old meal when nobody was in there. But so we have stuff like that happen at our house all the time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I have so much creepy stuff, our daughter won't even go in the house after dark.
I don't know if you
turns every light on in the house.
Yeah, I would too, by the way, including if there's one in the closet, back in the day, had lights in the closets, and they do still, some of these, but I mean, I know that it's kind of, the thing that creeps a person out is the unknown, and not the inability to see what's messing with them, or what it is. What do you think, what kind of energies, do you think you have kid energies, teen energies, adult energies, women energies? Angel, what do you have floating around in there?
At my house, I think it's a man and a woman. For sure, a man.
Couple?
But, I mean, I don't know. Now, my grandson said he seen a kid in the closet, but as far as that, I think it's an older man and a woman.
What about the old lady in the room?
Yeah, well, I know we have an old lady in the room. Our grandson at the time was 3, and he told me the old lady in the bedroom was going to get me.
Oh,
Well, I
God.
didn't sleep in there. Yeah, I didn't sleep in there for a while. He goes, that she slept with Papa on. I was like, she does? He said, yeah, Mama, she's going to get you. So I didn't sleep in there for a while.
How do you handle a conversation with a 3-year-old when they bring that up? Do you change the subject? Do you just tell him? How do you handle that? Because I have
Well,
nephews.
we actually just changed the subject because his mom and dad really didn't want him talking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we actually never talked about ghosts in front of Hayden. And then he was about 5 and he was having a party, and Timmy's mom had went in the house and he wanted to know where the little boy and the man had went, and nobody had ever been there yet. So Hayden always has seen people like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we never would bring it up because his mom and dad were like, they didn't, not that they didn't want him to do it. They just, Dylan knew it was true, He used to think I was nuts until that picture was taken and it looked like Timmy in the window and then the dogs. And then after that, and then he went with us a couple of times, and then he had things happen and he was like, okay, you're not nuts. This does happen. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at the conference, I believe you purchased one of my most recent book called Phenomena, which had all of the had
Yes, I have that one.
Did you get that one from me?
Yes, I do think I do. I bought like 5 of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got it.
So I gave that book to my nephew, and that started rattling the cage of his parents, of course. And so there's a gentleman that doesn't live far from him that dabbles into Bigfoot a lot. And I have interviewed several, and we'll talk about that in a moment with you guys too, several regarding Bigfoot. And my little niece, who's 7 years old, comes up to me. This is when we're at a family thing, and she goes, "It's imaginary, right?" And of course, so she starts saying that to me. It's imaginary. It's imaginary. And on one hand, to the nephew that was older and her brother that I gave the book to, he was curious, and then he's caught in between the is it real, is it not, because of the parental reaction to it. Then you have the little daughter or the sister who's like, it's imaginary, right? Because he doesn't want to scare the kids. And I know that, but the older one, he's old enough now to be able to try to at least open up his mind a little bit more to a different type of world. So let's
He's making his own decision.
Yeah, it's hard when you've got these little kids and whatever, and it's really hard. Let's talk a little bit about Bigfoot, because I know you guys had brought up that you might have had. Did you have an encounter, or did you go through the backwoods to see if you could see what was happening back there? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
We go to we call it Spook Hill. That's not what it's called. We just call it Spook Hill.
Yeah.
Me and Grace, my daughter,
Our son,
my
cousin, and his
cousin,
friend,
and his friend. We all go to this place. There's a graveyard back in this place. It takes about 10 minutes when you park on the road to get there. You go down the ravine and go up the ravine, and you keep walking straight. We walked around for an hour
or 2.
Yes, to try to find this. So we go through here and we got night vision goggles. Daryl takes the night vision goggles and looks him. He sees a priest, and the priest is pointing towards his left. He said, well, that's where the graveyard is. So we're walking to the graveyard. We see poop that's 12 foot up on a tree, smeared on a tree.
Oh, God.
So we get a stick and knock it down.
Yeah, Daryl actually did it.
And we knock it down, and I said, smell it and see what it is. He said, that's poop, Timmy. I said, really? He said, yeah. So that was that. And then we went to the graveyard. Mm-hmm. And up in the graveyard, say it was, we'll just say it's 70 degrees where we were at.
No, it was like 40.
That night?
I was told that night, yeah.
And then we go there at the graveyard where you can see your breath. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was literally, I had a FLIR, and the FLIR said 20 degrees. Mm-hmm. So we get away from it, and they say it was an Indian burial ground is what the The deal is, we're walking to that right there. There was two lakes that almost meet together. There's a little bit of island in between them. We're walking through here, water splash, so we all stopped. And as this had sudden, I had something jumped up in the air and jumped down on the ground, and it shook the ground. And we were about 3 foot away from it. It actually shook the ground. Daryl jumped on a stump and put Grace in front of him.
And he's probably 6 foot tall.
Yeah. And I mean, you could literally feel the ground shake.
Mm-hmm. And then we also got the prints, the Bigfoot prints. We actually took a picture of that.
Yeah. So
that was the same night we saw the UFO.
Yes. We're all doing it, and our daughter says, "No, we're not hiring it, are we?" I said, "No." She goes, "The stuff we're seeing tonight, it sounds like we're high."
Oh, we seen the light. We tried to take pictures of it.
Yes.
Nobody could get a picture of it, but finally my son got one picture because all of our things went dead.
So we're sitting up there. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask a question. Okay, there is an association that I am well aware of in talking with many people with the UFO and the Bigfoot. There's some kind of an association, although it's hard to pinpoint. Let's go back to that, and then I'm going to jump to that UFO in a minute here. Okay, so you felt something. Was it invisible when it shook the ground and you heard something just kind of blunk?
It was dark.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
We didn't see it. We heard the water splash
and kind of felt it,
and the ground shook like imagine like an earthquake. That's exactly what it felt. I mean, it stopped you in your tracks. We were sitting there. I mean, it actually, you think, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was so much like Daryl's 6'2", 6'3", whatever he is. He jumped up on the stump. And he said, "I get on the stump like I'm really going to do something."
Mm-hmm.
But it was really interesting. So we're walking to where the Indian burial grounds was, and we sat right there. And in this spot right there where we were at, it was like on a mound.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there, and whoever sat on this log, it would take your emotions. My son sat there and cried and cried and cried. My daughter said, "Well, we got to be getting out of here. If it's making Dylan cry, I don't want no part of it. It's going to make him cry." But everybody sat on this log thing had emotions.
That and like a figure would appear on their head.
Yeah.
We have to have a picture of somebody has a man's face on her hair.
Yes. But it was it was really kind of interesting, you know. It was different ghost hunting.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's interesting with the connection with the emotions that are when you sit on this one particular.
Yes.
Interesting.
When they got off the log, it took a couple minutes. They were fine.
They're fine.
But while you were sitting on this log, it just like it took your emotions. I mean, that's exactly what it was like.
What do you think? What do you think it was that might have been affecting this log? Do you know?
I got a feeling it's the Indian burial ground. That's what I would have to be. I would think.
Yeah.
You know, because they said with Indian burial grounds right in that area, and it was like in a soup bowl.
Yeah.
You know, because we went during the day. We
our first time we did.
Yeah, you could really see what the surroundings were. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then that graveyard is back there had about 6 graves, 7 graves, 7 graves in there, but there was no access to them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them was a baby that was been buried like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, is that right?
It's like somebody did it themselves, grave. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It was weird.
It's a way to affect someone to the point to have them leave the area. Is that what you think was happening? Affecting someone's emotions so intensely that they would literally either feel the sorrow and get up and leave, or because I'm just thinking, I've heard of a story like this before, and sometimes it's the only way to get rid of people is to make them so bothered by something or sick. Did you feel sick at all?
I never.
There was three of us that felt funny. Darryl, my son, and my sister. They all three had a really bad feeling there, and I think they all cried.
They all, as soon as they sat on that log, I mean, he said, I asked him, I said, "You all right?" He said, "I don't know what happened." He said,
couldn't quit crying.
"I cannot stop crying."
Until he got up.
Interesting.
And he's never been one to cry like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting, though. I mean, the effect
But
of
I'm
it.
like you. I think it's a way to say, hey, it's time for you to go ahead and go. Let me
Wait.
help you out a little bit.
Yeah. When did this UFO get sighted? Was this right at the same?
Same night.
Okay. So,
Yep.
Same as that night. It was in January.
did you see a craft at all, or did you see the orb?
The flume.
We actually saw the whole circle thing
Yes.
hovering over us.
Oh, you
And
did?
then we seen this light. And then, oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden it just went poof and it was gone.
Yeah.
So we are all getting out of there. So we're going to try to get in the car so we can find it. And as we're going down through there, Daryl gets the spotlight out.
Yep.
And we seen it again.
And he shot it.
Yeah, we stopped the van because we had a minivan then. I think it was, no, we didn't have a minivan, we had that other car. But anyway, we stopped and we jumped out of the car and all of a sudden it vanished again.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really weird. We've had a couple experiences in the same place with the UFO.
Did you have any missing time in that moment?
We did when we went to that was the same night. Yes, we did.
Yes.
We sure did.
Were you paralyzed by something by it that you don't really recall ever being? I know I've interviewed one guest that literally was beamed by a UFO that was over a cornfield and by chance in Indiana. And so it was kind of, he didn't remember.
This was on the outskirts of Indiana and Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah, that area is red hot. That's what I know. I mean, when I lived there, I lived in more upper Indiana, but my husband and I we always went down sometimes to the border, because it's so beautiful down in some of these areas, especially during the fall. It's beautiful leaves and stuff like that. But there was really a hot activity there, down where down with him. But when he was beamed, he knew he was being beamed, but he couldn't remember much of anything. He was with somebody who actually saw this happening. So I was wondering, did either of you, was it all three of you or just two of you?
There was six of us.
No, there was.
Yeah, I wasn't with them.
There was like 10 of us, and we all experienced the same thing. All of us. So we were all just, when we got in the van, we didn't know what had happened. We're like, did this really happen? And my daughter, she was like, are we on some kind of drug or something? She said, and then Daryl was like, Nicole, did this really happen? And she's like, okay, if Daryl said this happened, this happened. It was something we couldn't explain. And to this day, we're all like, wow. We don't know. We've never had it happen to us again.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes if they beam you or they latch onto you for some reason, they will start to follow you, or they'll show up over your house. You won't even know it, of course, but show up over your house or whatever. Because I can vouch for the fact that at one point there's definitely something that has a intrigue with me, because there are things that went on at my previous home that were very otherworldly and very unexplained. And there were times when I could see my husband and I both saw it. There was like the light that skims the window, and it wasn't a police helicopter above looking for someone in the neighborhood. Right. And I could go on for days about the type of UFO experiences. So that one, though, then shot up and left, and then never saw it since, right?
Well, that night we hadn't, and then we went back one more night.
Yep.
Because everybody wanted to go back after that. One night we went by ourselves, we drove over there, and we actually saw like a big circle, and it was burning, and we saw looked like a bunch of people around it, but as we got closer, it disappeared. We never could find it. It was just me and him. I tried to take pictures, and my phone wouldn't work or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, people are going to think we're crazy, except for people that had actually went with us before would actually know, hey, they're telling the truth. We've been there.
Well, a lot of times these things, too.
So that's happened.
There's a gentleman I know who used those infrared binoculars, and this was Idaho, where he lives. And he, just out of a hunch one night, he was looking at his binoculars, and he did see a craft through the binoculars up above the tree line. He saw that. But when you take the binoculars down, you couldn't see that it was there. So I was going to say, if this thing had the ability to cloak itself these things are known to cloak themselves at times too. So this is like, even if it's there, you can't see it unless you have some type of equipment. Did you use any type of infrared or any type of
Not that night,
Not that night.
but the first night we had infrared night vision goggles.
Yes.
There was like 4 of us that was packing the Paranormal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting as we become a little, I'm not going to say sophisticated, but just kind of like, I call it trickery. Use these items and it's like, aha, once they figure out that they can be seen through infrared lights or, cameras or anything like that, then they'll change their cloaking mechanism to something else. I mean, mark my word, I'm sure it's happened a zillion times, especially if they want to go undetected. Physically, though, since then, how long ago did this happen?
Oh gosh, I wish I knew the year. Oh God, it was probably at least 15 years ago,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. I was just wondering
Probably.
if anything since then, if you've and this now pertains to all 3 of you, since you've done so much so much research on this. I know for a fact with me that when I started getting into wanting to go to a lot of haunted bed and breakfasts and I was having experiences, I became more evolved in my own abilities over time. And I also have had otherworldly experiences, which, by the way, I think it's in the book, so you might see it, Angel. But anyway, have any of you noticed within yourselves that over time, since you've been delved into this, that you have been evolving in your psi abilities or things that you can do, or you're more telepathic or something? What have you noticed in yourselves?
Mine is, I had a pacemaker put in a year ago today.
Yep.
I died twice in an hour, 5 minutes at a time. My heart quit beating.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you what, now I sense the same thing, not as much as Grace does, but I sense the same things as Grace does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Synchronized.
We'll go down the road now, and we seen the mist going home one night, and I told Grace, she said, you see that? I said, yep, I sure did. And I used to not see nothing.
Well, one time you seen a woman on the highway walking.
Seen the woman on the highway, yes.
You saw the woman. You saw the woman on the highway.
Yep. She had her hand over her eyes when our bridge was out, so we had to go the back way home. There was only one way to get to our house. So we went through. This lady's on the side of the road, had her hand over.
In the morning,
yeah.
Left the church.
And she had her hand over her eyes, and I said, "What in the world?" And I went home and got the FLIR out and walked down the road trying to find her again. And I never could find her.
We come to find out our lady had got killed there delivering mail.
Delivering mail.
And come to find out it was Timmy's cousin.
Yes.
His cousin had moved the lady, yeah.
No,
we actually seen her that night.
But she looked like somebody standing on the road. I mean, that's what she looked like.
Yeah.
But she had her hand when the lights got to her.
I even called the law and the neighbors because I thought, man, this lady's out here this middle of the night. She's needing help,
Mm-hmm.
And nobody could find her.
Was she wearing regular clothes or was she wearing a dress?
Wearing a dress.
Wearing a dress. And like I said, she covered her face.
She had long hair and a dress. You couldn't see her face. She was like going like this. Like our lights were blinding her.
Why do they always have long hair and covering their faces and they're wearing a dress? Did your cousin, she was your cousin, right? Did she ever wear dresses?
She looked like a Pentecostal.
Pentecostal, yes.
She looked like
all the time.
She looked like a Pentecostal is what she looked like.
Yep.
Yep.
I've known her forever.
Yep. I'm shaking.
Right in front of our house.
Yep. You know what would have been creepy is if you would have stopped and she would have gotten into your back seat. I've heard of those stories too, by the way.
We were so close. We were so close to our driveway, so we went on and just parked. And then he said he's going to go help her. So I ran in to get the FLIR so he could go out there and find her. And I called the law and I called the neighbor, but she wasn't there.
Yeah.
I would have seen her walk past me. I stood outside waiting for her.
We have fields around our house.
Do you know where she was buried?
Oh, no. But we could find out.
Yeah.
You know where she was buried?
Yeah.
I think Calhoun. I could be wrong.
Because do you think she was walking home to her grave?
Too far away. But that's where she got killed at, though.
But that's where she
was
got
at.
killed, right?
She got hit on 81 right there by the White House. That's where she was at.
All right, so I've got a question, and I ask it to myself all the time. Why do you think those that get killed in a certain location are constantly there versus their consciousness or their soul or whatever just leaving and going somewhere else or whatever? Have you ever come to any conclusions as to why they show in the place where they died? Any of you want to take that question? Because it's all the time. It's like, yeah, we'll just go on over there. That's where they died, you know?
Well, a lot of times they say because it's a tragic event, so they'll stay there. I mean, I don't know particular why.
I personally, I think a lot of times what we take as a haunting is a residual. It's just being played over and over. Like if they would have stopped, would she had actually acknowledged that they were there? Because it's just the recording that plays over and over.
Yeah.
Which is still, it fascinates me, but it's not a haunting. It's just a recording that plays over.
Yeah, like an energy
I'd still like to know how that's done.
That's clung, like it sticks right in that very spot, and it's just like there's that energy. I mean, that energy,
like they always say, they see this ghost in a certain room in a haunted house or on a certain street. I think a lot of that is residual. That's why it's always in the same place. It's just being played over and over again.
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been creepy though? If you would have stopped, or would have, you would have stopped.
Right.
Oh my God! And she probably would have just disappeared, right?
I wish we would have stopped, but like I said, we were just about 2 driveways down, and so we were just going to pull in the driveway, and then he was going to walk down and see, because there's no way she could have got across the bridge anyway. So, but
I know.
there.
So all the acres of fields where she was at.
Yep.
3 houses and 1 road.
Yep.
There's no, and I could see where she's at from our house.
Yeah.
I didn't even go inside. Grace when I got the clear. I went down the driveway, started walking.
Yeah, and I met him, and then I waited for her.
Yeah, it's fascinating and creepy. If you got somebody walking on your road, for God's sakes, I mean, and you never seen her since?
Nope.
No. Do you think the elements?
What we should have done, we should have wrote the day down.
I probably do have it written down somewhere at home.
So we should have wrote the day down. What date it was?
Yeah, the date that she died.
Check it. Yeah.
We had left the church.
Yeah.
So do you all believe that certain elements can light up some of these manifestations? Because when it's northern lights and all these sort of things going on and everything, there's a lot of energy in the air. But
there is.
Like Dwayne, you said residual. Do you think that affects residual as well as intelligent?
Yes. I do. I think residuals can drain your batteries, stuff like that, because it needs the energy, the electricity, or whatever you want to call it, just as well as an actual haunting, like a spirit. I think it needs that same energy to form itself.
So what's up?
It could be scary, even though it's just a recording. You're still seeing something that you can't explain. So.
Have you guys gone back out to the woods where you saw that UFO? Do you do that periodically? Dwayne, have you tagged along?
Hey, the last time we went out there,
he lost
his phone. We got home at 4:00 in the morning.
We always joke around and say Bigfoot's got it now.
Well, actually, we had been over, and he lost his phone, and we had a birthday party the next day for his son. And we actually didn't get home until probably like 6:00 in the morning, and we never did find his phone.
No, never did.
And we had a dog bite our tire while we're rolling down the road and put holes in the tire. We had to change the tire on the side of the road.
Yeah. We had a night that night.
Yeah.
Every time you go over there, something happens. So we haven't been in a while, but we've been planning on going back.
That's interesting, especially when you retrace your steps. It should have been somewhere there in your steps.
We did.
Yeah, we were trying to call it on other phones,
Yeah.
so it would light up, and
Yeah.
But there's no signal over there. But we actually went back 2 or 3 times
yes.
after that.
It didn't help though. Most of the leaves in the tree is already fallen, so you're looking down at nothing but leaves on the ground. And,
We actually went back the next day, and then our son actually went back the next day also and helped look for it. And we went there. We would get down the ditches and everything, and we still couldn't find his phone.
Someday someone's going to find that phone, and that'll be interesting. What's this? I don't know what this is. This is something.
Nothing else. I'd like to be able to save the card out of it.
I know. Can you imagine?
All those, because I didn't know about saving pictures and stuff. I thought if you took a picture, you automatically save it. No, it's got to be downloaded.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, all my pictures and stuff is gone.
Oh my God. Especially when you do so much research. So what's next on your guys' plates? What's happening next as we're going in to wrap up? What's your next thing? Do you you've done several hundred so what's next?
I don't know. I haven't got anything planned yet.
Well, pretty sure next week, nothing. It's too cold.
Well, actually, we're doing something in the 31st with another group, but we are. The way his schedule is, he works 4 days, he's off 4 days. So I just got my calendar all filled out so I can figure out the Sundays and Mondays we can go. So that's pretty much where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. And will you guys be at any conferences coming up this year? Since you're going to be airing right now, which is, actually you're airing in multiple spots, so I'm not even going to give dates and stuff because by the time this is heard, people will hear it soon and then they'll hear it later. So why don't we go with the conferences that you're going to go for?
Yeah, we're going to go to one in June in Alton. I've been talking to that Troy Taylor, so I'm getting that set up. I don't know the exact date, but it's in June. And then we're going to do the one in October. See, our problem is they run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we have the auction on Saturday, so that we can only go on certain times.
Yeah.
We're kind of limited on what ones we can do.
The one in Alton, which is in Illinois, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yep. So you will have a booth there. So if anyone is at I think it's the Haunted Americas conference or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And that's in June of 2026. So look it up and come visit with them because they've got a very interesting booth and you can meet all 3 of these in person. And then the one in Rock Island, which is the one that I met them at, that's in early October. I think is it the first week of October by chance?
Yes.
That's it.
Yep, they'll have a booth there, and they were there last year. And I'm not going to be there this year, but go and see them because they'll be very interesting, and I'm sure they'll have a few interesting artifacts there, or some items that you can talk with them also at their booth. The other thing is if anyone wants to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you?
They can go to our Facebook page, Backwoods Kentucky Ghost Hunters. We're also on YouTube, Backwoods Kentucky Ghost Hunters, or they can reach out and call us. Okay.
I think we won't cite the phone number at all here, but the Facebook page is safe and so is the YouTube.
Yep.
So we're going to leave it at that. And so, and then Angel, will that all come directly to you and then you'll relay it to the gentleman in front of you? Is that how it works?
Yes. Yeah, I know we all usually, there's 5 of us and we all usually sit down and kind of figure out when we could go. Like we go to do private houses also, so we kind of sit down and figure out when we can all go as a group. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just us 3 that go, mm-hmm. and there's been times it's just been 2 of us that go, and then there's been times there's 4 of us that's gone. So
and solo.
Yeah.
And solo. Yeah,
we've had a couple of solos, but
mm-hmm.
usually we all go as a group, or at least 2 or 3 of us go.
I think it's safer that way. I know that when I'm by myself, weird things can happen, especially if you're really sensitive and you're being tranced or anything or channeled. At least you have somebody else there to assist in some level or try to snap you out of it. So, well, we will have to have you back. Very good show tonight. Very interesting. And for those of you who like to go to auctions, where there's one down in Kentucky. But
And when you go to the auction, you can also rent out our place for the night for $175. You get it from 8 at night to 10 the next day.
It's haunted here also.
Is
Yeah.
it,
At the auction house. Yes, ma'am.
okay, so at the auction house, they can actually rent that out and stay there over the night?
Yep. There's a house on it right there.
The house on hill.
House on hill. We got running water. We got heat and air. We got a shower. We got everything. Got a kitchenette in the back right there. So
Yeah, we have a ghost here named David.
That's what I was going to ask. What ghost is hanging out there?
Well, we know for sure David. And
David's
we
the main one.
Yeah, we also have a lady and a kid here, but David, we have a book on him about, how he ran a jewelry store here and then how he got murdered and everything. So we have all that in a book in his room.
Okay, is that book in print on Amazon, or is that in a smaller book?
It's actually, I should clarify, it's a newspaper clippings that the librarian in McLean County ran off for us, and we all have it in a book, and we have it in his room where he had his actual jewelry store.
Oh my!
It's actually not a book. It's just a book we made up of
clippings and
stuff.
stuff.
Clippings that Amy Newberry from the library had made for us.
yes.
Oh, how interesting!
It shows about how he went missing, and then about how he coming back, and then how he got killed in Nashville and all that. And so we have it all in his room.
Wow!
And people can talk to him. Yeah.
So you can rent it out.
Safe in there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, have you ever had anyone rent there and then run out during the night because it was too scary?
We've had two teams that not the last one, but the one before. They had supposed to have it till the next day at 10, and they actually left at midnight.
Oh,
And they went out the front door and didn't even lock the door.
oh God!
All the other groups have stayed the whole time, but pretty much every group has always gotten stuff.
Yeah, everybody. But I don't know why they left, but they did, and we were out of town, and Dwayne had to come up and lock the doors. Though they just left.
Too
So,
We got one coming tonight.
Oh, you do? Well, in that case, then I better have you guys tidy up there. So, well, I will have to have you back, and I hope to see you again in person, all of you. And on behalf of myself and the shows that you're going to be on, many of them, thank you so very much for being with us today.
Well, we thank you guys. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening to Haunted Mysteries Podcast. The content, music, and creative sound effects, as heard on the Haunted Mysteries Podcast, are copyrighted and licensed commercially to Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. Please do not reproduce in any manner without the express permission of Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz, Diamond Point Entertainment, LLC, Paranormal Universal Press, LLC, Haunted Mysteries Podcast, and or any affiliated networks such as the Get Haunted Podcast Network. The opinions and information expressed by the guest, hosts, and sources as heard and seen on the Haunted Mysteries Podcast are not necessarily those of Diamond Point Entertainment, LLC, Paranormal Universal Press, LLC, Haunted Mysteries Podcast, and the Get Haunted Podcast Network, as well as its producers. Although the content of the shows may be interesting, the information and opinions within are deemed for entertainment purposes only. Subscribe to continue your enjoyment and interest, and thank you for making Haunted Mysteries Podcast part of your day.